This video will explain the Louisiana Purchase and the Lewis and Clark expedition.
Let's get started. It begins with the French Revolution. After France won the French Revolution, they were suffering through serious debt. They needed to make a lot of money fast, and the Louisiana Purchase could help them towards earning back all of their lost money.
Also, the Spanish had closed the New Orleans port while they were in possession of the territory. That port was the main trade port that America used to export goods to foreign countries. Thomas Jefferson did not want to fight over the land, so he thought about buying the land.
America needed that port to maintain foreign policy with other countries. He also wanted to expand further west, sparking the idea of manifest destiny.
So the United States bought New Orleans, along with 828,000 more square miles of land out west. Thomas Jefferson negotiated with Napoleon, the French officer, and they came upon a deal.
On April 30th, 1803, Napoleon and Jefferson settled the deal for $15 million, and the United States more than doubled in size. The Louisiana Purchase added on parts of 15 of today's states.
However, many people questioned whether Thomas Jefferson could make the purchase or not. The Constitution said nothing about the president's right to purchase land and add on to the United States. Jefferson, though, supported farming and wanted to expand agriculture.
We also wanted to keep the New Orleans port, so he bought that land, believing it was the best decision for America. Now, since we owned this land from the Louisiana Purchase, we had to scout it and make sense of what we had gotten ourselves into. What did the land look like? What were all its geographical features? Could we find a water route across the continent? These were all questions that Jefferson and the rest of America wanted answered.
Thomas Jefferson proposed an expedition to explore the newly bought land of the Louisiana Purchase, as well as finding a cross-continental water route to the Pacific Ocean. Jefferson referred to his friend, Meriwether Lewis, to lead the expedition and explore the new lands of the West. Lewis was a young, strong military captain, and Jefferson trusted him very much.
Lewis requested to bring William Clark, slightly older than Lewis, who was a skilled mapmaker and an exceptional outdoorsman. Clark would bring along his African-American slave, York, who would be the first black man to journey west. Jefferson instructed them to be friendly with the Native Americans living further west, and told them to describe wildlife, landforms, plants, and more.
Lewis and Clark's party of around 40 set out in the summer of 1803, unsure of what they might find west of the colonies. The explorers immediately faced challenges. They explored by the river until they reached waterfalls, which they obviously did not want to travel on. Instead, they picked up their supplies and portaged across the surrounding land for about 18 miles.
The group found St. Louis in the winter of 1804, and the American flag flew over St. Louis for the first time. They continued traveling and spent the next winter with the Mandan tribe, who were close allies to the travelers.
One day, they made a party of a French trapper along the path. He had a 17-year-old wife named Sacagawea, who was a Shoshone woman and knew the land surrounding them very well. Considering she had grown up there, Sacagawea's husband agreed to let Sacagawea join them on their quest west, along with her newborn baby, Jean-Baptiste Charbonneau, who has accompanied them on their journey.
Sacagawea impacted the expedition greatly and is still celebrated today. She helped Lewis and Clark navigate the lands near which she grew up, and even saved the journals that Clark kept when their canoe overturned. She guided them all the way until they reached the Pacific Ocean in the November of 1805. The explorers were overjoyed. Though they could not find a water route that crossed the entire country, they'd still gathered lots of new information.
They made their way back with only one casualty, Sergeant Charles Floyd, who died of a ruptured appendix. Lewis and Clark received overwhelming praise when they returned. The group did not return without Sacagawea, however, who had returned to her true home, the Shoshone tribe.
Lewis and Clark were not the only Americans who first explored the Louisiana Purchase land. In 1806, Zebulon Pike explored further south than the Lewis and Clark expedition ever reached. He wanted to find the sources of the Arkansas River and the Red River, which were also the border between America's newly bought land and Mexico.
He explored with a party of about 24 and discovered the landmark known as Pike's Peak, the Rocky Mountain formation in which Pike attempted to climb and failed. Pike did not find the sources of the two rivers, but he found the Rio Grande River before being arrested by Spanish troops and released a year later.
The Louisiana Purchase and Lewis and Clark expedition further encouraged America to expand westward. The first steps that we took towards manifest destiny. Thank you for watching.